Yep. Oh. Ding, let's go. The triple AP. As alive as possible. The who, what, where, when, and why of making it happen. The who. Obviously, you, I, and the people in our lives. So we'll break it down all the way, starting here. The who. Obviously, it starts with you. You want to be as alive as possible. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, well, we know deep down inside that you do want to be as alive as possible. It's essentially why we're here. People asking, oh, what's the meaning of life? What's the purpose? What's my purpose? It's really a DIY endeavor. But luckily, it doesn't fall all completely on us because we are living life and being lived at the same time. We have an intuition, a faculty. We have an intuitive faculty. That's the heart and soul, baby. Ugh. Feel it. So, we have our intuition, we have our inklings, we have the messages that we're getting all of the time. Whether or not it comes easy to us is neither here nor there. But this is from the get-go, where here we are, we're living life, we're having thoughts, emotions, intuitions, and that can come in the mind, in bodily sensations. But it's really coming down to our heart and soul. What messages are we getting in our intuition? What is coming up for us where we feel like we're getting messages that are important? What do we feel like we need to do to make life different, to make life better? And that is really our responsibility. Where at the end of the day, we have one job. That is listening to clarify and expand the I from the heart and soul core level and beyond. We figure out who we are in bits and pieces over the moments, days, months, weeks, years, etc., becoming more and more of ourselves. We're not going to know who we are. We're not going to be able to clarify and expand the I at a core level until we really start listening. Who are we really? What is really going on for us? What is good and right and wholesome and true about us from the get-go, from the right here and now? Sitting with that, understanding that, realizing that, listening to ourselves. And then, once we're getting in that clarifying mode, then we can eventually expand ourselves. In that, we are becoming more and more realized, self-realized. Feel free to look up self-realization, individualization, Carl Jung, doing things like shadow work, meditation, contemplation, journaling, just general self-reflecting. It is a great service to us when we're doing these things, and it is a great disservice to us when we're not doing these things. That's The Who. The Who. That's a good band. But this is The Who, the you, the I. Figuring ourselves out so that we can, once we're clarifying, we can eventually, inevitably, expand upon who we are. And then beyond that, The Who. Who are the people in our lives, socially, through our work, family, friends, the people who we're listening to online. This is a friend or foe situation. So, online or inline, right, in person, the people that we're interacting with, are they clarifying and expanding us, or are they doing the opposite? Or are they somewhere in between, where it's kind of like, you know, you're kind of here, you know, we're coexisting, but just kind of trudging along, kind of plateauing. So our work, in the societal, social, communicative sense, we have to figure out if these people are clarifying and expanding us, or doing the opposite, or somewhere in between. And if we want to do this in a more efficient way, perhaps we need to spend less time with certain people. Perhaps we need to cut people out of our lives. Perhaps we need to, in due time, get in a better situation, work-life balance situation, right? Going no contact. If you don't know what that is already, you can look into that. But that is a thing where it's like, especially with family, if they are presenting themselves and acting upon themselves and upon you in a way that is not helpful, not clarifying and expanding who you are, bravery comes into mind, where it's like, are you going to have these tough conversations, these crucial conversations, which is a great book, Crucial Conversations. Feel free to look into that. If you're too lazy to read the book summaries are a thing as well, to get the gist, and then to integrate that and other things in your life that are going to be helping you to clarify and expand yourself. So, that's The Who. And in future videos, I can go more into this. We'll kind of just do kind of relative surface level. And then, certainly, if you want to go deep, then feel free to check out more of my content, my books. Third one on the way. It'll feel very good for me to go from saying it's on the way to it's out there, you know, third published book. Hoorah. Hoo-ha. Okay, to the what. The what of as alive as possible. Now this is diving deep in and of itself because like the Faith No More song Epic, what is it? You want it all, but you can't grab it. It's in your face. Right. You want it all, but you can't have it. It's in your face, but you can't grab it. What is it? Well, I'm going to tell you how to grab it. I'm going to tell you how to have it. As alive as possible. What is it? We have to really get in touch with our sensations, our six senses, where well, we have the six senses, and then we have the mind, the body, the emotions, the core, heart, and soul. So the what is the sort of tangible aspect of how are we grabbing it? How is the aliveness tangible for us? For me specifically, it's all about experience. I personally want the experience. I want the tough stuff that I can overcome. I want the intense stuff that is helping me learn and grow as a person. So this is kind of general, kind of universal. Experience. What is going to help you feel at a heart and soul core level the most alive? And again, for personal stuff, and then maybe you can relate. So for me, it's having a job that is challenging, but also wholesome and fun, existential, psychological, but also body-based, play-based. That's for me personally. You know, you get the opportunity, the honor of figuring those things out for yourself. What are the experiences that are going to help you feel on all levels the most alive? Aliveness, aliveness, aliveness. Feel it. Alright? What's that guy? Not Eric Clapton. Peter Frampton. Do you feel like I do? Feel it, my man. Feel it. Who, what, where of the as alive as possible. The where. So, this is a game of dimensions. In the 3D physical world, we go places. Where is the average person going a lot? They're going to work and they're going home. That's a lot of our lives. And then we're going to sleep. Don't even get me started on the power of dreams. That is included in the where. But let's just, for now, stay in the waking world of where. Okay? We're going to work. Do you like your job? Is it helping you to feel more and more alive? Perhaps not. But there are options. There are always options. There are always choices. There are always opportunities to be in better places and spaces on all dimensions, on all levels. So let's just say you're going to work. It ain't the vibe. Fair enough. Well, you have opportunities. You have choices. Are there ways that you can make your work slightly more enjoyable, but more specifically, slightly more alivening? Are there ways that you can arrange your office space? Are there ways that you can talk to people? Are there ways that you can organize your workload where you are pinging and gamifying your workload, your work life, so that it feels more and more alivening? The short answer to that is hell yeah. The long answer to that is pick a category, like one category at a time. Is it are you going to approach it in terms of organization, or in terms of sociability, or in terms of what you wear, or in terms of the amount of gusto and charisma that you're adding to your emails, the the amount of charisma and gusto that you're adding to interactions with coworkers, your boss, etc. Plenty of ways. There are ways beyond the ways that I'm able to conceptualize, because, you know, I live a certain different life. It's almost blue collar, where it's just like working with people, working with people's mental and emotional stuff, working with the herding of the masses and things like that, and curriculum and behaviors and things like that. So the way I goose up, the way I enliven my workday is essentially so there is an option and a approach of perception. So in the years of working at the school jobs, it's been reorienting my perception, where it's like, yeah, I'm dealing with challenging behaviors on a daily basis. Yeah, I'm dealing with uncertainties, unknowns, mysteries, where, you know, you want a job with a whole lot of adaptation, adaptability. Work with people as the main aspect of your job. Young people, bonus points, where the unpredictability, the spontaneity of it is wild. But I love it, because the spontaneity, creativity, and it helps with my creativity, my spontaneity, resilience, creativity, adaptability, resilience. I've said those things multiple times, but it's just that aspect of, like, I love it because it's different every day, and I love that. And it's essentially like, look, no particular day is going to be easier, so just do your best and get better. You're going to get pinged, you're going to get chipped away at. Cool, good. That makes you better. That makes you more clarified and expanded in who you are. It's awesome. Okay, so who, what, where, when? The short answer is obviously right now and every moment for the rest of your life. And there's a certain amount of sorting, a certain amount of finessing, because I love this concept. This is from Don Juan, and who wrote the books? Basically, someone following around Don Juan. Regardless, this concept of controlled folly, where that's its own enlivening invitation of life, where it's like, all right, when am I going to act, and when am I going to let things play out? But all in all, I want things to be smooth. I want to get what I need to get and keep things going and growing and being subtle and strategic about it. It's kind of like, you know, if you're the type of person that's a sort of, you know, into finding out about conspiracies and the deep state and all these things, controlled folly when going into a grocery store is essentially, you're not going to each person clutching at their pearls, grabbing their shirt and going, you have no idea, you're being played like a fool, stop being swayed, stop being herded, you're a sheep, right? You're not going up to all these people and yelling at them. You're going in, you're getting your groceries, you're kind, you are necessarily passive to large extents. You are getting what you need, keeping things smooth, and getting out. So in terms of the when, there's a time and place for going full-blown gusto mode, man mode, testosterone mode, and then there's a time for letting things happen, listening, consoling, being kind, keeping things smooth, right? What better place than here? What better time than now? Right? Who, what, where, when, how? How? Not as if I wasn't discussing that the entire time, but feeling the most alive as possible. Getting more and more in touch with the I, the heart and soul, with the soul box. Right? Box in the sense of, yes, we have this infinity of creativity and spontaneity about us, but we're still an individual I, so we need necessary boundaries to contain ourselves. We don't need to tell everyone everything. We don't need to do everything that comes to mind, that comes to heart. There's a time and place for it. Like I mentioned before, controlled folly for the win. But more on the how. There's a lot of feeling into it. We're not going to know who we are until we set aside some time. Yes, there's plenty to be extracted throughout the day when these thoughts, these visions, these inklings, these intuitions come up. And perhaps we would be wise in having a little pocket-sized notebook on hand so we can jot these down and really feel them out more fully in these more quiet, more stimulus minimum moments after work, right? And more on the where, when you're not at work, when you're not with family and friends, you're at home. A home base, whether or not it's completely yours. Hopefully you at least have a room, a corner to yourself. If not, I really feel for you, but there are private places and spaces like the bathroom, like nature, out in parks and things like that, where we can have these stimulus minimum places and spaces where we can really flesh these things out, to understand more and more of the I. Who am I? And just for the sake of balance and what's the word? I think it's heuristics, where it's like, look, you got what you got, work with what you got. Yeah, the more that we do these types of things, meditation, contemplation, reflection, journaling, we're gonna find out more and more about ourselves. But, that being said, we are enough of ourselves in the now, so we can work with that. Whatever we have right now, whatever we're able to glean, understand, and be, that's good enough for now, always getting better. That's another great mantra that has stood the test of time, especially in my life, where we say, this is good enough. For now, always getting better. Perfect. Now, always getting better. Perfect and always clarifying and expanding more. It is not a yes, but it is a yes and situation. The how is, like I've expressed in many videos, including this one, stimulus minimum moments, extracting, listening, blossoming, inevitably, these things just come up. We don't have to push these things out. These things come up. And then it's high time for us to listen, to envelop, to, what's the word? Unpack, right? We unpack these things. These things unpack before our very eyes, before our very heart and soul. We just have to give it a platform. We have to be open. Open and listening and ready for these things to come up, for these things to unpack. We are living life. Life is living us. It's a beautiful life. So there you go. As alive as possible. And always getting better. As alive as possible. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. The why. Oh, did I forget about the why? Why? Consider this. In a world, this current world, in the roaring 20s, the roaring 2020s, and it's only going to get wilder, in the roaring 20s of mass stimulus, mass technology, AI, smartphones, entertainment, streaming apps, whatever else you're playing on your TV, on your screen, on your whatever, on your entertainment devices, we are being absolutely bombarded. Things are becoming less and less human. You cannot deny that. Things are becoming less and less human. So one of the biggest, if not biggest, whys for you, for I, for humanity, the biggest why is because life is becoming less and less human. If we want to be more alive, this is a human endeavor. We can use technology to give us inspiration, but at the end of the day, the I, being completely and utterly human, and the beauty of the multi-dimensional human in the 3D, the 4D of time, and the 5D and beyond of the metaphysical world, our thoughts, our emotions, our heart and soul, intuitions, messages, visions. In this multi-dimensional human reality, yes, we're human. In this multi-dimensional human reality, if we want to become more alive, which is becoming more human, becoming more humanly alive, we have to check ourselves and our proclivities, our tendencies, our cravings, our addictions to technology, and to a large extent, we have to deny it. Not completely, because there are plenty of benefits in the technological age, but we, to a large extent, need to deny it, and we have to reaffirm all that makes human life absolutely glorious. As glorious as it is essential, as it is daunting and challenging, as it is beautiful and amazing, as it is inevitable. You may or may not be a spiritual or religious person. You may be agnostic. You may be atheist. And if you're in those last two categories, I hope you get well soon. Honestly, this creation, we're surrounded by creation. You are a creation. We are built in the image of a creator. You can call it God, whatever you want. We are built as creators. We got this prefrontal lobe. We got this will. We got this reticular activating system. We got this perception. We've got all of these gifts. We are creators. And it's high time we get with it. That's a real why for you. Straight up. Straight up. Woo! Alright, I've packed plenty into this video. This might be my longest video yet. Let me take a gander. Woo-wee! Alright. As I like to end videos with respect, much respect to you. Much respect to us, humans, creators. Much respect to God. Call whatever else you want. I call it God. Much respect to God, giving us all of these gifts, multi-dimensionally. Much respect to the gifts that are beyond the I, the individual. Earth, the sun, the atmosphere, the cosmos. It's spinning around in this gravitational, pressure-based, molecular, atomic-based balance. The elements, water, fire, air, earth. Water, air, earth, fire. Ether. Check yourself. We got the metaphysical too. Gotta love it. Gotta appreciate it. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect the earth, nature, giving us the food, water, air, shelter. The minds that made all of the human-based benefits and gifts happen. There are many ways where the human progress movement has gone too far, but if we're talking stuff like electricity and houses and plumbing and just social connection, right, civility in general, much respect. And all of it, like, it's all going on. This is one amazing multi-dimensional experience bonanza. Shenanigans. Woo! All of this and more. This is Mr. Mike. Catch you later.